Okay, so today we're in section 7.4, the percent equation. You're going to notice that this section is very similar to 7.2, the percent proportion. Do you guys remember the proportion? Can you say it with me? Is over of equals P over 100. Or we could say it A over B equals P over 100. And we use that proportion to solve percent problems. Well, just like we learned with solving proportions in general, that there's multiple ways to do it, there's also two different ways that we can solve percent problems. One is using the proportion. We learned that in 7.2. The other one is using the percent equation. So I need you to write down the percent equation in your notes. A equals P percent times B. The percent equation, okay? Nice front and center, because this is our template for working every problem that we're going to work in this lesson. A equals P percent times B, where A is the part of the base and B is the total. P is obviously the percent. My keywords still apply. What's my keyword for A? Is. What's my keyword for B? Of. Okay, so I'm still going to see those keywords indicating which value plugs in for which variable. Okay? Which value plugs in for which variable. All right? Yes? Huh? All right, so in 7.4, in example 1, it gives us an asteroid example. Okay, so listen with me. If you're open in your books, you can read along. It says on June 14th, 2002. We're not talking. Were any of you born in 2002? I don't think so. Okay, so 2002, 15 years ago, almost 15 years ago, the distance between Earth and the Moon was about 375,000 kilometers. On that day, a traveling asteroid missed Earth by about 32% of that distance. It passed between Earth and the Moon. That's how close it came. How far, I guess it wasn't between Earth and the Moon, but it was that much closer than the Moon is to Earth. So how far away from Earth was the asteroid? All right, so here's what I have to figure out. 375,000, is it the total or is it the part of the total? It is the total distance. So 375,000, we always start with our formula, A equals P percent times B. Okay, the hardest part about your word problems on your homework tonight is figuring out which value plugs in for which variable. The total plugs in for B. In this case, it's 375,000. Okay, I don't know the part, and I know that my percentage is 32%. But does anybody remember what I have to do to my percentage before I can multiply it? I've got to turn it into a decimal. So are you okay if we go ahead and just kind of mentally do that so we don't have to write it twice? Okay, so 0.32. We're just going to automatically change the percentage to a decimal because we know we have to do that in order to multiply it. So when I multiply it, I'm going to figure out, I'm going to find how close that asteroid actually was to hitting Earth. You say, well, that's not very close at all. Yeah, it is. In terms of space in general and how vast and broad it is, yeah, that's actually really close to hitting Earth. All right? So again, guys, we're just using this formula. You're going to see throughout the whole lesson today, I'm manipulating the formula. Sometimes it's solved for A, sometimes P, sometimes B, just like with the proportion. All right, so that's how it looks in a word problem. This is how it's going to look just on a, a regular problem. You'll see this on a quiz and a test. Guys, doesn't this look familiar? This looks just like 7.2. And guess what? You could use a proportion here and solve it and get the right answer. However, that's not what the directions say. You've got to pay attention to the directions. They say use the percent equation. So that's the one we have to use. Percent equation is what? A equals P percent times B. So that's the one we use. Do we know A? No. It says what number is. We don't know A. What's our percentage? 16%. How do I write it in my formula? 0.16 times 75. All right, you say, well, I can just do that. That's what I did yesterday on my homework without using the formula. Technically, you're right. But more than that, I'm teaching you how to use a formula to solve. Okay, so that's why I still want you using the formula and solving. All right, so 0.16 times 75 is 12. All right, go ahead and solve the second one on your own. All right, so we plug it in to our formula, change percent to a decimal, and we solve. All right, so A equals P percent times B. Change my percent to a decimal, multiply to get 97.9. Okay, so 3 simple steps, guys. Formula, substitution, box answer. Who got it right? Who got it right? Good job. Fallon, is that a yes? Okay, good. All right, got it? Okay, so now example 2, we're going to look at commission examples. All right, what professions would an employee earn a commission? Commission is when you make money off of a sale. Car sales, what else?
Hair cutting.
Okay, hair cutting, yeah. You could make a percentage, yes, a profit. Hayden? Yes, selling houses, very good.
I was thinking like the flipper flop.
Yep, selling houses. That's not necessarily commission, though. All right, commission is, yep, CarMax sales, yes.
Selling paper.
Selling paper, yeah, okay. So really, commission is a very good incentive that companies use for their sales teams, right? Because if you earn a percentage of what you're selling, you're going to work harder, right? Logic stands to reason. I mean, if you get paid the same no matter how much you sell, you think you're really going to be motivated to sell very much for that company? No. All right, so they use commissions to motivate their employees. So let's look at this example. A car salesperson earns 6.5% commission on every car sold. So the salesperson sells a car for $21,800. What is the commission? Well, I've got to figure out. Okay, I'm given the percentage, so I know that's P. 21,800. Is that the part of the total, or is it the total? It's the total amount of the sale, right? That's not how much commission he made. That's his total sale. So A equals P percent times B, 0.065 times 21,800 gives me his commission. It's not bad for one day's work. Yeah, one sale. That's not bad.
Really?
Car salespeople can make some good money, especially at this dealership, right?
That's a day?
Yeah.
That's one sale. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying that every dealership gives that kind of commission, but
That'd be great.
that's not bad.
Every day.
Times could be good or times could be bad. What if you don't sell any cars for a week? You know?
Then you're living on your
Okay, so guys, you have 5 problems on your homework tonight. Are you listening? You have 5 problems on your homework tonight where you have to figure out, is this number my total, or is it the part of my total, or am I being asked to solve for percent? All right, so now let's look at solving for a different part. Now the statement says what percent of 25 is 60. So what am I solving for? I'm solving for percent. So I still set it up. A equals P percent times B. What is my A value? No.
60.
What percent of 25 is 60? My A is 60. Equals P percent times 25. But how do I write this? How do I write P percent times 25? How would I write that more algebraically? How do I need to write it? 25 P. Okay, P percent really is just P. So I could write it 25 percent, or I could just write it 25p. I know I'm solving for percent. All right, now this looks like an equation that I can solve, right? What would I do to both sides? Divide both sides by 25. What does that give me? But is that a percentage? Is that a percentage? No, not yet. How do I change it to a percent?
Move the decimal 2 times.
Move the decimal to the right 2 places. 240%. And yeah, that makes sense because my part is way bigger than my whole. So it is going to be more than 100%. So my answer is reasonable as well. So on these guys, when you're solving for P, you got to do a little switching up for 25P. And then when you get your answer, make sure you write it as a percentage. And then you'll be good. Okay, go ahead and solve the second one. What percent of 45 is 30? All right, so A equals P percent times B. 30 equals 45P. Divide by size by 45. 66.7%. If you said 66.6, that would be fine too. Okay, 66 and 2/3% would be fine. Okay, any questions? Anything? All right, so now moving on to example 4. In example 4, we're now finding the base. All right, so it says your friend paid $9 for a movie ticket, and this amount was 72% of the total amount they spent at the theater. How much did your friend spend? All right, so again, I know that 72 is my percentage, but what is $9? Is it the part or is it the total?
Part.
It's the part. It's not the total amount that he spent. So 9, start with my formula, then 9 equals, how do I write 72%? 0.72 B. Now what do I do? Divide both sides by 0.72. He spent, and you got to write it in dollar form, $12.50. Just make sure if it's a money example, you write your answer in dollar form. Right, 2 more problems and we're done. Right here. 90 is 120% of what number? Start with your formula and plug in the numbers where they go in the formula. Go ahead and solve these two. So substitution, pay attention to the screen. Are you done with the first one?
Yes. No, I'm done with both. Andy.
90 equals, what's 120% as a decimal? 1.2 B. Divide both sides by 1.2. B equals 75. 75. Who got 75? Who got 75? No? No? Couple of you? No, Alex? Didn't get it? You see where you went wrong?
So close.
Okay. All right, next one. 27 is, how do I write 7.5% as decimal? 0.075 B. Divide both sides by 0.075. 360. All right.
I didn't even.
All right, guys, that's it. That's all you need to know for 7.4.